What is up, everybody? This is Erik, the Bear Collector, and today I'm doing something different. I'm gonna try to start a little sub-series within my video game collections, and between my video game collections and my video game reviews of games that I have. I'm actually gonna try to do reviews of games that I don't have because I'm gonna call it games that are too expensive to own. Now the game that I have right now to review is the game The Krion Conquest. Now this particular game actually came out back in 1990 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm actually playing it on my SNES Mini. I modded it so I could play a bunch of games, but I remember having this game back when I was a young kid, and I remember not really, I liked it, but I didn't because this game was super hard. And the way that I can describe this game is basically like, it's like playing Mega Man 1 but way harder. So yeah, so let me go ahead and start because I guess this thing wants to start. So yes, this game came out back in 1991. It's similar to Mega Man 1 in a sense. Basically you are you play a witch that is out to destroy some evil robots, as you can see in the story. Actually, this game came out in Japan as Magical Kids Doropai, and it was supposed to be a kind of like a remake or a video game based on the Wizard of Oz anime that came out a long time ago in Japan, but they couldn't get the licensing for it, so they decided to make their own game. The developers decided to make their own game. So the only thing, it's very similar to Mega Man, but it's super hard. You guys are gonna see. Now the difference between, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it for a second. So now the difference between the Japanese version and the US version is that the Japanese version had entry cutscenes similar to, they compare those to like Ninja Gaiden and those type of games where you have cutscenes that explain the story. In the US version, they brought it out because I believe they spent like about between 6 to 10 months, I can't remember, to bring the game out, so they brought it rather quick. So they had to cut a lot of things short. Not only that, they cut the continues in this game because they thought that you know, it was a popularity at the time for US players to have hard games. You know, I'm like, this game is insane, as you're gonna see in a minute. And then also the interesting thing is this is one of the few games that came out with a female character as the main character. And a lot of people in the development team had an issue with that, but they went ahead and did it. So yes, like I said, this game is very similar to Mega Man, but the only difference is that you already have some of the powers. You know, you're going to be using the broom a lot. But yeah, you have similar powers. You can kind of like hold the button, hold the button and it throws like a Mega Buster style. But the game is hard, you'll see right now. And some of the powers waste your energy, so I would recommend, if you guys want to play this game or you want to play it with a Game Genie or Game Shark code. I actually 2 weeks ago I actually passed the game, so but I used codes, and even with the codes it was extremely hard. So you have a power right here, you'll see it's called Ricochet. It's called Ball, which is kind of like a ricochet shot. So you have to be kind of creative with the powers that you get. In each area there's levels. They are about, I believe I want to say there's 4 levels, with the 5th level being the final battle. Each of the levels are split in 3. But then the 4th part of the level is the boss. And then the 5th level itself, the final boss, is its level on its own, but it has like 3 transformations. It's like brutal, you know? But yeah. And then you don't often get a lot of power-ups. Even when you land on the platform, it sounds like Mega Man. The cool thing about this though is that you can shoot up. But those guys are killing me right now. So yeah, very similar to Mega Man. I'm gonna see if I could try to make it to at least one part of the level, so that way you guys can see what it's all about. Let me see. Ooh. I'm gonna have to just whatever. What? I'm gonna die right there anyways. Yeah. And then the problem with this is that see, they start me all the way at the beginning instead of a section of the game. So just, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and just end it there. Basically this game, it's rather expensive. Last time I saw it this weekend, I went on eBay to see how much the game is worth. This is one of those games that you'll pay anywhere between $60 to $80, $100 on average. So it's kind of like a rare game for the system. Like I mentioned, when I was younger, I owned the game. I believe I had it with instructions. And, you know, I give up on it because, I don't know, the Game Genie codes that I had didn't really work well. And so it was just too hard to pass the game. But unfortunately, you know, it's a game that I like it. I like it a lot. The theme and everything is fun. But you know, it's just way too hard. So recommend codes for it. The other thing is actually, I believe that they made a video game version of this game back later in the late 2000s for a phone, for Android phones, and they dummied it down a little bit. They made it easier. But there were also talks about a part 2 coming out in the Super Nintendo. But unfortunately, because I guess the developers didn't have the money to develop, to get the kits to do a Super Nintendo game, they never made it, so there never was a part 2. And it's a shame because this would have been a really cool game in the Super Nintendo. It would have looked really cool. Not only that, well, I'm not going to spoil the story of it. You check it out for yourselves, you know. But anyways, this has been a quick review of one of those games that are just too expensive to too expensive to purchase nowadays because it's kind of rare. I'm going to be covering a couple more games, several games out there. A lot of them that I used to have when I was a kid, and now I want to try to get them back, but I'm not spending $100 on these games. The other thing is that I unofficially have a pilot, quote unquote, a pilot episode after I decided to make this sub-series. I have the review of Trip World for the Game Boy, which is another game that's too expensive to own. I'll go ahead and put the link in the description below of that particular game. So basically that kind of started it off, but I got a couple, I have a couple more games on the SNES Mini that I can go ahead and review, as well as maybe like I have like reproduction games. One of them that in a couple of hauls in the past, I bought for really cheap. I bought a really good reproduction of the game for Super Nintendo, Hagane. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Hagane or Hagane. I have that amongst a couple of other repros. But you know, these are games that are expensive to own nowadays. So let me know what you guys think. If you want me to cover more of this genre of expensive games, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe. Please help me reach that 100 goal. I'm almost there, you guys. But anyways, I'll bring in more of these videos soon, because I think even though I don't own the games, I really want to cover them because it's really cool to know these rare games. So anyways, this has been Erik, the Bay Area Collector. Peace out.